Ultimate Pool is one of the biggest brands in our sport right now, and with good reason. They've got phenomenal players playing professionally every single week on TV. And if you look at what they're using, the brand extends further than just the players in competition. They've released the Dynasphere pool balls, and they are extremely hard to get due to the popularity of them, with lots of great reviews. They also play on a Rasen Apollo table, which is a great table to play on. It looks brilliant, it sounds brilliant, it plays brilliant. They sell a lot of other merchandise as well though. And I have been giving one of their cues to try out by my sponsor, Table Time Sports. Now, I've been given this cue and asked to do an honest review on it, and this is exactly what I'm going to do. So I've actually been sent the Crushed Master Range cue. It's actually a really nice looking cue. It's a 3/4 jointed one. I had asked for the 8.5mm version, so that's a thinner cue, which I think is more suitable for this game. It weighs in between 18.5 and 20 ounces in weight, 20.5 ounces in weight. So there's good weight to that. It'll give you a bit of power in the shot. The price is £170 on Table Time Sports. Now they're selling that at the exact same price as Ultimate Pool, so there's no markup for going through Table Time Sports. What is good about what Table Time are doing though, is that you can get a matching break cue. So if you want your playing cue and the Ultimate Pool Crushed break cue, there is a matching one. So whatever colour you choose, you can choose a matching break cue. Now they are priced at £130. That's the same as Ultimate Pool's price. But if you buy the two of them together through Table Time Sports, they will give you a £20 discount on the break cue, so you can get it for £110. So there's a bit of a saving to be made there. You also get, if you're buying the cue, you get the Ultimate Pool towel as well. Now, you might not want a break cue, or you might have one already, but you might want to treat yourself to a new case. Well, if you buy through Table Time Sports, you can choose any case whatsoever, whether that's an Ultimate Pool case or any other one. Now, if you pop my code in at the checkout, that's PoolTips20, you will get 20% off that case. So a fantastic saving to be had there. And please remember, if you use any of my codes, then you also get free access to my Pool Tips Masterclass. That's a members only site that is worth over £30. So if you're buying the case, use PoolTips20 and you'll get 20% off. If you are just buying the cue on its own, use the code PoolTips and you'll get your free shipping, free towel, and the free access to the members only site. A little bit more about the cue. It is fitted with a brass ferrule. Also, it comes with a pro spin tip. Now, I think I might be mistaken here, but I think they're roughly about £20. I can't remember if it's £20 for one or £20 for a set of them. So they are a premium tip. So although the price range of £170 for this cue might be a little bit high, you are getting quite a few additional things with that. So that's a bonus. It's really important to point out who this cue is aimed at. Now, I've placed a graphic on screen just now, and this is the kind of typical buying process of someone throughout their pool career. Now, it's not going to be the same for absolutely everyone, but it gives you a bit of an example of the typical journey of a pool player. So when you start out playing this game, when you first pick up a cue, you probably pick up a cue in a pub and play a few frames, and if you like this game and want to get more into it, then you will probably go out and buy your first cue. Now, as with any sport or hobby, you don't tend to go all in that first week of picking things up. You don't go and buy the most expensive golf clubs or tennis rackets or the most expensive photography equipment or whatever it is that you're into. And it's the same with pool. A lot of people will probably pick up their first cue for under £100. I've got a cue here. I got two of them off Amazon for, I think it was £75. I've got one of them here. I'll leave them on the rack up there just in case there's somebody coming around that I don't particularly like and I don't want to give my expensive cues to, so they can just pick something up and play with that. That quality of cue, you can tell that it's cheap. I'm holding this just now and you can feel the cheapness in it. Once you take the next step up, that's when you might invest more in your queue. And I think that step up is where you feel the most difference. So I've got a couple of steps after this, but I think, you know, from step 1 to step 2 is where you will notice the biggest difference in quality of queues. And it might be that you don't do step 1, you might go straight to step 2, and that's absolutely fine. But that's where we're at the moment. An ultimate pool queue is on that second step. It's for someone who is playing this more, you know, it's more than a hobby now. It's a regular hobby or something that they're wanting to get better at, and they're willing to invest more money in it. So you're typically talking about something between £100 and £300 for a queue. Now, you can absolutely get something that is pretty decent within that price bracket. So we're talking now, Powerglide do slightly better queues within that price bracket. Baysmaster, the ultimate pool queue that I've reviewed for this, and brands like Britannia. And I did a review on a Britannia queue a few months ago, and I'll pop it up there if you care to look at that. I was really impressed with the Britannia queues. Now, all of these queues in this bracket, I think, are fairly similar. They play fairly similar. In terms of what you're getting, that £170 price mark for this is a bit more than some of the Britannia ones that I tried out. And it's certainly more than, you know, some of the Baysmaster and Powerglides. Now, I wouldn't say that it's an inferior queue to them. You know, it plays quite similar to them. I did genuinely like it. You know, I was the actual first frame that hit a broken dish with it, and it feels good. And it's good that you get that decent quality tip on it straight away, and it's well fitted, so you can get this queue delivered to you and play with it straight away. Where I think the criticism comes in is that price of £170. I think you could get a queue of equal, you know, quality for a slightly lesser price. I'm not talking about hundreds of pounds, but certainly you could maybe save £20 or £30 on a queue. But the thing is, Ultimate Pool are leveraging their brand. You know, they are a fantastic brand. They're really well known, they're really well respected, with very good reason. So if you're at that stage, that second step in your career, then, you know, there's a bit of prestige added to Ultimate Pool, and I guess that people would be willing to pay an extra £20 or £30 for that, and that's absolutely fine. Completely get that. It's a good queue. You know, I can't fault the queue for who it's aimed at and for the price it is. There is nothing that I can say that is wrong with that, and that is my genuine opinion. I'm not going to go and buy this from them right now. It is the best queue ever. I'm not going to do that. I'll give you my honest opinion. I think it's a good queue. I think it's slightly overpriced, but that comes down to that badge. So if you want that badge on your queue, then go ahead and buy this. But I do think if you're combining it with a case or a break queue, I think it's well worth it. You know, the discounts that Table Time Sports are offering, I think it makes it well worth it. And also you get access to my Pool Tips Masterclass on top of that. So hopefully a little bonus for you there. But the proof is in the pudding, as they say. And if you're a beginner or you've been playing the game for a little while and you just want to take your game to the next level, then I think you can do far worse than invest in a queue like this. And I'll hit a few shots. You can see, you know, straight away, I'm getting quite a lot of spin on that. It is a good queue. You'll not be able to, there won't be any shots that you won't be able to play. You can see that there, I've played a reverse side shot. I've spun that in with the right hand side and made the cue ball change direction. I'll play a top spin shot now as well, so you can see how it performs in top spin. So I'm getting a lot of action on that as well. And that is with a tip that I'm not used to. It's with a weight of cue and a thickness that I'm not used to. So if this specification of cue is closer to what you're used to playing, then you'll probably be able to maneuver the cue ball far better than I would. But thanks for watching, and I hope you found this useful.